Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Vishpad Prabhamsa Parivrajagachaya Ashtadhara Shadashishmad His White Grace A.C. Bhakti Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai Granted srimadbhagavatam Ki Jai All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Do you think you can move that table here, please, Jamal? Is there no water? No. Yeah, it's all right. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. All right, so it is Canto 4, entitled Creation of the Fourth Order, Chapter 7, the sacrifice performed by Daksha, text 14. So you have to pull it up on your phone, huh? All right. All right. All right. So you have the verse? Okay. Vidyata povrata dharan mukatasma vipran Brahmatma tattvam avitam pratamam tvam asrak Tad brahmanan paramasarva vipatsupasi Pala Pashuneva Vibho Paragrihit Krita Dandaha Vidya tapo vratadaran mukatasma vipran. Brahmatma tattvam avatum pratamam tam asrak. Tad brahmanan paramasarva vipatsupasi. Pala pashuneva vibho pragrihita dandaha. Vidyatapa vratadaran mukatasma vipran. Brahmatma tattvam avitung pratamang tam asrak. Tad brahmanan paramasarva vipatsupasi. Pala pashuneva vibho pagrihita dandaha. Are you going to the farm today? Why don't you know? What is it based on?
Based on me calling my mother today.
Oh. I was just curious what time you usually go. Around 11? Oh, okay. All right, Joey. So you're going to chant? Vidyatapo vratataran mukatasma vipran. Brahmatma tattvam avitung pratamang tam asrak. Tad brahmanan paramasarva vipatsupasi. Pala pashuneva vibho pragrihita dandaha. Alright, word by word. Vidya, learning. Tapaha, austerities. Vrata, vows. Taran, followers. Mukataha, from the mouth. Sma, was. Vipran, the brahmanas. Brahma, Lord Brahma. Atma tattvam, self-realization. Avatum, to disseminate. Pratamam, first. Tvam, you. Asrak, created. Tat, therefore. Brahmanan, the brahmanas. Parama, O great one. Sarva, all. Vipatsu, in dangers. Pasi, you protect. Palaha, like the protector. Pashun, the animals. Eva, like. Vibho, O great one. Pagrihita, taken in hand. Dandaha, a stick. Translation. My dear great and powerful Lord Shiva, you were created first from the mouth of Lord Brahma in order to protect the brahmanas in pursuing education, austerities, vows, and self-realization. As protector of the brahmanas, you always protect the regulative principles they follow, just as a cowherd boy keeps a stick in his hand to give protection to the cows. Purport. The specific function of a human being in society, irrespective of his social status, is to practice control of the mind and senses by observing the regulative principles enjoined in the Vedic Shastras. Lord Shiva is called Pashupati because he protects the living entities in their developed consciousness so that they may follow the Vedic system of Varna and Ashram. The word Pashu refers to the animal as well as to the human entity. It is stated here that Lord Shiva is always interested in protecting the animals and the animalistic living entities, who are not very advanced in the spiritual sense. It is also stated that the Brahmins are produced from the mouth of the Supreme Lord. We should always remember that Lord Shiva is being addressed as the representative of the Supreme Lord, Vishnu. In the Vedic literature, it is described that the Brahmins are born from the mouth of the universal form of Vishnu. The Kshatriyas are born from his arms, the Vaishyas from his abdomen or waist, and the Shudras from his legs. In the formation of a body, the head is the principal factor. The Brahmins are born from the mouth of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in order to accept charity for worship of Vishnu and to spread Vedic knowledge. Lord Shiva is known as Pashupati, the protector of the Brahmins and other living entities. He protects them from the attacks of non-Brahmins or uncultured persons who are against the self-realization process. Another feature of this word is that persons who are simply attached to the ritualistic portion of the Vedas and do not understand the situation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are not any more advanced than animals. In the beginning of Srimadbhagavatam, it is confirmed that even though one performs the rituals of the Vedas, if he does not develop a sense of Krishna consciousness, then all his labor in performing Vedic rituals is considered to be simply a waste of time. Lord Shiva's aim in destroying the Daksha Yajna was to punish Daksha, because by neglecting him, Lord Shiva, Daksha was committing a great offense. Lord Shiva's punishment was just like that of a cowherd boy who keeps a stick to frighten his animals. It is commonly said that to give protection to animals, a stick is needed because animals cannot reason and argue. Their reasoning and argument is argumentum ad baculam. Unless there is a rod, they do not obey. Force is required for the animalistic class of men, whereas those who are advanced are convinced by reasons, arguments, and scriptural authority. Persons who are simply attached to Vedic rituals without further advancement of devotional service or Krishna consciousness are almost like animals, and Lord Shiva is in charge of giving them protection and sometimes punishing them, as he punished Daksha. Om Ganadivadandasya Gananjana Shalakaya Chakshulanmilitamena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Mukam Karitivachalam Bhangam Nangayate Gadim Yat Kripa Tamaham Vande Shri Gurun Dinitarinam Vancha Kalpatrubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasudeva Gaura Bhaktivinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. My dear, so translation again. My dear, great and powerful Lord Shiva, you were created first from the mouth of Lord Brahma in order to protect the Brahmanas in pursuing education, austerities, vows, and self-realization. As protector of the Brahmins, you always protect the regulative principles they follow, just as a cowherd boy keeps a stick in his hand to give protection to the cows. So do you get a hold of Sonny? No, she didn't answer. Okay. So according to the Vedic scriptures, there are different duties, different activities that, depending on who a person is, they're required to do. And as devotees sometimes bring up, there's this idea of rights, you know, like people with, they want rights, you know. Nowadays, it's a very big topic, people's rights. And then, apparently, devotees were doing a search in the Manu Samhita, which is a very ancient book which describes all the different, you could say, the laws of mankind. And apparently, in that search, they didn't find anything about rights. But then they looked up duties, and there was a lot of things came up. Duties, the duties of a man, the duties of a woman, the duties of brahmachari, sannyasi, grihastha, so many duties of children. So now people, of course, not everyone, but now largely this idea of responsibility and duty and commitment, and these things are not very popular, because the whole idea is just to enjoy, enjoy your senses, enjoy your body, enjoy this world to the topmost degree, and it really doesn't matter if you're committed or dedicated, or it doesn't even matter if you have a purpose in life. Just your purpose in life is just to, gratify the senses. That's it. So whatever you have to do, if you have to hurt people, within reason, you don't want to be too violent, but if you have to hurt a few people on the way and emotionally or this and that, it doesn't really matter. Just express yourself, right? Of course, Srila Prabhupada would sometimes speak out against abortion. And specifically, he would do that because, of course, there are some cases where, people could make an argument that, hey, I really didn't want this; it was forced on me, But a lot of the cases aren't like that. That it was their choice, and they had a embryo, developing within their womb, a woman, and she wants to just, kill it because she doesn't want to deal with it. One devotee, he said that his sister had an abortion, and he said for years later, quite frequently, she would have nightmares of this baby. I mean, it's like really spooky. I mean, I didn't want to think about it. But the baby would come in her nightmare and say, why did you kill me? Why did you kill me? For years, the baby was having this nightmare. And there's actually a lot of women, of course, I haven't talked with a whole bunch of them about different things. I haven't spoke with a lot of different women on this particular topic, it's a bit of a sensitive topic, but there are cases of women who, they feel really bad afterwards. They just feel horrible, depressed, and just horrible from, doing that after the activity. So anyways, I'm not going to get completely into that subject, but this idea of just enjoy, it doesn't really matter. All that matters is you, and if that doesn't bring you enjoyment, you having a child, then just forget about it. Just even if it's there, and even if you wait some time, there's a child going to come out. Just if that doesn't bring you enjoyment, then it doesn't matter. Just move on with your life. There's this. If you drive down Grand or you drive around the city, you'll see an advertisement at the bus stops. It says Planned Parenthood, which they're into propagating illicit sex, have as much illicit sex as you possibly can, or as much as you want. But they heavily encourage that. And then they also heavily encourage abortion, too. Encourage both. So have as much illicit sex as you want, and then we'll abort the fetus. I mean, there are some things, they have some things in that in terms of Planned Parenthood, that they have education and whatever classes, and they do all types of stuff, I'm sure. But part of their program is just be as free as you want, and we'll abort the child fetus. So there's a advertisement you'll see, and it says no judgment, just care. Planned Parenthood. So they'll say, hey, we're not going to judge you. You come in here, we're not going to judge you, you know. If you want to, whatever you want to do, you know, you want to have you want to have a bunch of illicit sex like a monkey, we're not going to judge you, you know. And if you want that abortion, we're not going to judge you. We're just going to care for you, you know. But, you know, the people, they don't understand that this is madness. This is wrong. This is madness. This is demoniac. This is just wrong. Because they're training people, Prabhupada would say, they're training people in their next life to become animals, and even this life, animalistic. And to follow no religious, no spiritual, no principles, and just, you know, let the senses run wild. That's what they mean by no judgment, just care. So we're teaching you to care for your physical body only, you know, not for your soul, not for you. So, and people like that, you know, people really like that. It sounds good to them, you know. It really attracts them. So this is you could say, fallen state of the world, and it's actually world spread now. It's all over the world, this type of mentality. So it's the duty of the Brahmins to be self-controlled, to pursue education, austerity, vows, self-realization. The Brahmins are the head of the society. And without a head, you know, you may operate without your legs, you may operate without your arms, you may operate, I don't know, etc. like that. But without the head, you cannot operate. You know, it's you get your head cut off and that's it. You can't operate anymore. So a society needs a head, and the head is the Brahmins. And the Brahmins are those who, again, pursue education, austerity, vows, civilization, and they know what is to be done and what is not to be done, and they do that, you know. They do what is to be done, they don't do what is not to be done. And they teach that. So it is a very, you could say, much needed that people become Brahmins, people become learned, and people, they work for the benefit of humanity. And it may seem slow. I mean, it may seem slow. But in the beginning, everything's slow, you know. It may seem like it has taken a long time to, like the devotees. I mean, can you imagine them, what they did here? I mean, this is just like mind-boggling, mind-stunting, what they've done with this temple room. I mean, they did this all, you know, handmade. I don't even know how they did it. I mean, it's just like, I can't even imagine just, you know, like one of those things up there, you know, like this, you're sitting there and you're trying to mold it and, you know, letting it dry, and I don't even know how they did it, you know, painting it. It's just, the whole temple room's like that. And at first someone may say, oh, this idea is just wild and it's going to take too long and, you know, maybe we should not do it, you know. But they did it, and it seemed like it probably was taking a long time, but, you know, they finished. Actually, it's not finished. There's some paint over here that needs to be done, if you've noticed. But the point is that it seems impossible, it seems challenging, it seemed challenging, and when it started, it probably was slow. So similarly, to be Krishna conscious, and specifically to spread Krishna consciousness, may seem like that. Oh, it's impossible. It's just too difficult. It's going to be way too slow. And then when you start, it seems slow. But whatever the case is, whether it's slow or fast, that's our duty. We may spread Krishna consciousness fast. We may spread it slow. We may not spread it all, but we should try it. That's our duty, to try to get people and educate them on these particular principles. In this way, people could live happily and also meaningful life based on, you know, reason, not a irrational life. So Does anyone have any questions or comments so far?
I was just thinking about all these things and
Maybe you could maybe get the microphone, please, because they want the microphone for the few who are watching. I think it's. I hope so. Madhusudan Prabhu, I think Kanchan Bala.
Madhusudan Prabhu.
Anyways, I was just saying that I don't know how they did it, but I assume they made molds for all these things. And I wonder if those still exist. I assume not, but
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, all the molds. I mean, I don't. I mean, it was Gunagai Swami's ex-wife, before he accepted sannyas. Kirti Da or Kirti Ka or something like that. So yeah, I'm not sure where she is, but yeah, I doubt they have all this, molds, all these molds. But yeah, it's quite a challenge.
I guess we should finish that then.
Yeah, we should. There's that if you look closely, you'll see that some of these, I don't know what you call them, they're not painted, the design is not painted in them. There's this whole corner here, actually, where the designs aren't painted in those things. If you don't look carefully, you won't see it, but if you look carefully, you'll see it. So those need to be, fixed, or painted, not fixed, but...
I kind of just assumed that somebody was cleaning and somehow erased the paint.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's what Dravida Prabhu said. He came here in 1988, and he said that it wasn't completed. It was in stages. They were still working on it. So they've been working on it for years. And they're still working on it because it's not done yet. But this is, these types of acts are actually devotional acts. This is what's needed. This is what will, what was this devotee in L.A., Sura. He says, "Seva will save you." So service will save you. Seva will save you. So this is what's needed to put energy, to put time, to put, to make things as nice as possible. They could have just had like flat walls here and, put up a few pictures of Krishna and that was it, They didn't have to do this, but they did it, and it's nice. Everybody's appreciative. Anybody who comes in the temple is appreciative of it. Especially those who have artistic sense, they're very appreciative. Or like, Santosh last night, he could have just boiled some cabbage and some eggplant and, threw a cumin chance in there and, some soggy rice or something. But, he put energy and time and, attention and it was nice. It was the orange cauliflower and the turmeric rice, right, and the nice salad and nice carob halva. And I was talking with people, and they appreciated it. A few people, I was talking. They said, "Oh yeah, it was really good," So if you put a lot of energy into something, also if you have to be, learn how to do things, but. If you learn how to do things and put a lot of energy into them, then people are appreciative, and that's called devotion. That's called bhakti. So that's the idea. We should do that, and specifically, we should engage those particular, you could say, propensities that we have in trying to bring souls to Krishna consciousness. So, for example, those who can learn mridanga or shlokas, like we got Dravida Prabhu, or cooking, or whatever it may be. We learn those very nicely, and we do them nicely, and then that could attract people to Krishna. So that's the idea. Because people, unless the devotees attract them to Krishna, then they won't be attracted. Simple as that. Of course, Krishna is all attractive, but after all, who are the representatives of Krishna in this world? I think it's the devotees. So, if the devotees don't make, you could say, Krishna attractive, then yeah, everything dies. Means they dry up, and then also it means people won't become devotees. Like, for example, we dress the deities very nicely, or we try to, as nice as we can. We put garlands and different, every day, we're offering so much. And people, specifically those who have some sense of deities, like Indians, they have a sense of deity worship. They come in and they'll appreciate, oh wow, this is very nice, So by looking at the deities, they could, nice decorations, nice turbans, and nice flowers, and then they get a sense that, oh, these Hare Krishna people, they're taking care of their deities. And there's a special beauty there. Whereas you go to another temple where they may, change the outfit every 3 weeks and, offer them puffed rice, once a day or something, and, offer them a garland on Janmashtami only, a real flower garland on Janmashtami. Then, there's a lack of beauty there. And people sense that because Krishna is less present. So that's what I'm saying, that the representatives of Krishna, they're making Krishna attractive, right? And it's actually stated like that in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, that I went to Vrindavan one time and I was taking darshan of all the deities, and I made a comment to Tirtha Maharaj. I said, wow, these deities are really beautiful. And then he said, yeah, that's because the devotees love them so much. And then I thought about that. Then later I read a statement in Chaitanya Charitamrita where it said that because in the spiritual world, because the devotees love Krishna so much, it actually enhances his beauty. So whether it's the deity worship or prasadam, that's also another form of Krishna. Or whether it's the holy name, right, that's another form of Krishna. Or speaking about Krishna, that's also another form of Krishna. So whatever the form is, it's the business of the devotees to decorate that form. Means make it attractive. And if they're successful in that, if they do that specifically purely, then it will attract people. And if they don't, if the kirtan's not done in a devotional way, in a pure way, if the deity worship is not done nicely, purely, if the prasad is not up to standard, if the talks are, speculative and whatever, done for material reasons, then you'll get those type of people, or you'll just get no people. So, that's the duty of the Brahmins, to decorate Krishna and to make him beautiful for the general public, and for them to attract them so they could give up their material, ways, their material attractions to this world. So, does anyone have any comments now? Questions? Second time? Okay, that's all right. All right, so Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.